you're brand new, welcome to the New Life event. I am Shauna Siegel, and I'm the CEO of One Choice for Your Store, host of Ecom Experts on Webmaster Radio, and I absolutely love, love, love education. And if you want to learn more about me, just go check out my bio because we're here to talk about the New Life event. A special thank you to all of our speakers. Please, please, please take the time to reach out to our speakers and say thank you for being here, because without them, we wouldn't get this absolutely amazing education. And I want to say thank you to our audience. I'm going to show you a little bit later in the day what you created and what you did for the website, and I think you're going to be absolutely amazed. And the reason why is because you are out there spreading the word. You guys are the sponsors of the event, and you guys are doing a great job. Remember, it is your job to get people here, so we are helping in giving out prizes, and it's wonderful, and we've got our grand prizes too. Wild Wade won our grand prize for last night, and he is so excited about it. I wonder if he got any sleep. He was so excited, but we're so happy to hear about that. But just remember, you are a winner by being here. You are getting phenomenal education that's going to help you grow your business, and I can't wait to see how much further you are in 6 months. All right, so here's how to win. Go to twitter-winner.com. Send people to newlifeevent.com. Put at New Life Event so that way they know what's going on, but please make sure you've got the hashtag NLE. Got to have that in so that we know that you're doing this. And the best way and easiest way to do that is if you use tweetchat.com, it will put in the hashtag for you. You don't even have to put it in. Plus, you can see everything going on. You can talk with other people. It's really, really great, and you can connect with other people, and they'll help you. They'll help you with building your business because there's just wonderful, wonderful people here. Absolutely wonderful. We've got a great schedule all day. We are 6 webinars down, 24 to go. Good, good stuff. And if you have questions, feel free to post them to me on Twitter. Just put at New Life Event, or we have a questions box on the right-hand side. I am going to pass on the controls to Miss Downhill, who's our next speaker today. And if you haven't heard her before, oh, you're going to love her voice. You're going to love her voice. And if anybody loves education, well, she certainly does. I don't know if you know this about her, but she was actually one of the past members of the search engine marketing professional organizations. And she was also one of the, weren't you one of the founding members as well?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, one of the founding members
I actually
as well.
was the founder of the SIMPO Institute, which is the educational wing of SIMPO.
There you go, the founder. Okay, and SIMPO is dedicated to education. You know, so how much more can we get for education? This is the woman to listen to. So I'm going to quiet myself and let you continue on and tell people a little bit more about yourself. And thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you, Shauna. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for getting out of bed for this first session. I'm in my pajamas, but the less you know about that, the better. So my name is Fionn Downhill, and I own a small boutique interactive agency in Scottsdale, Arizona, which specializes just in natural organic SEO. And I also recently launched a tool company, which is an SEO tool and a SaaS model online tool, and it's got 15 years of knowledge in that tool, and I'm kind of at the moment VP of strategy for that company as well. So I've also got 2 or 3 other companies online, and definitely an online entrepreneur. And I love the web. I love the fact that I can just do this stuff as quickly as I can. I don't need a load of money to start a company, start a business, and it's always so much fun. So hopefully after today you guys will all be in better shape as well for doing your business online, because that's why we enjoy doing these events with Shauna to help you. Okay, one of the areas that I specialize in is the subject of online reputation and brand management. A very overlooked issue, specifically in the field of public relations. In the field of public relations, everything is still very much focused offline, and it's getting better, but what I have found working with the PR community is that they're absolutely some amazing people, and they're really good at what they do, and they're very professional, but they have yet to embrace the web. However, you, as a small business owner, you're your own PR professional, and you have the ability to create a wonderful reputation for yourself and for your brand in the online space by leveraging all that it has to offer. So, what is online reputation management? Well, it combines marketing and public relations with search engine marketing. Visibility and high rankings for good publicity are your ultimate goal. And this in turn will put bad publicity down the search engine listings and out of public view. So that's really what online reputation management is, pretty much as it says. Are you a little devil or are you an angel in the online space? And I'm going to go over with you why this is so important. So we have new rules today. We're no longer, marketing and PR is no longer a one-way monologue. Push-pull is over. Unfortunately, still coming out of school, our colleges, push-pull is still being taught. Today you have to engage and participate. You don't just push the message out and hope for the best. If you don't participate, you really do not. You do not get the full benefits, and you could cause yourself and your company a lot of harm. The customers are online, that's where they are. Facebook now has 500 million users, and it's growing exponentially all the time. Twitter, all of these, to ignore them is probably not a good idea. Now I know, and I'm one of them, I'm a small business too. As a small business, you're like, you've got to be kidding me. When am I going to find time for this? Well, I'm hoping at the end of the presentation today that you will say, you know what, I can do some of this. This is something I can do, and I hope that you'll be convinced how important it is to do it. So online PR, what I have found again is sometimes that the online PR side of things is seen as a sort of a threat to traditional PR. It's not. It should be provided with traditional PR. I couldn't believe it. I was going to London at Christmas, and 5 days after the first British Airways planes were grounded, I was 5 days late going on my trip. The CEO of British Airways comes out in a YouTube video talking about all they're doing about it, and for 5 days there'd been no contact, and I thought, wow. And those 5 days before he came out and said anything, they were absolutely killed across the web, not because of the weather, nobody blamed them for the weather, but everybody blamed them for their lack of communication, which in this day and age, in the digital age, there's no excuse for. But his PR company probably didn't know what to tell him, didn't know what to do or tell him what to say. That's another story. It's not going away. You must participate, and a single negative blog post can spark a reputation crisis. And in that I have asked Dell, after this event, if you want to do Dell Hell, Jeff, J-E-F-F, J-A-R-V-I-S into Google, you'll see the whole story where one blogger caused such an online PR nightmare for Dell that at one point Michael Dell attributed a drop in their share prices to the reputation, the damage that had been done to their reputation. That's about 5-6 years ago, and that's when I got into online reputation, because I thought, you know what, this is a big deal, and let me learn all I can about it, because you will combine SEO with all the other tactics it's necessary to be successful. So Google is your new PR target. Now, when you think of the sheer magnitude of Google and the amount of people that go there, you now have not just the blue links that we were used to, but you have blogs, you have videos, you have Google News, you have image search. All of these things, if you don't try to participate in them, something bad could get in there about you, something negative. And the good news is that you have an opportunity to create a great reputation for yourself. So why is it so important? 90% of people put their trust in what others have to say about your reputation. The web is the new word of mouth. So it used to be a day where you go to a cocktail party and someone says, oh, I found the most wonderful realtor, and by the end of the night, 3 more people might know about that wonderful realtor. Well, now 10,000 people could know about that wonderful realtor, depending on where this person posts their information, Yelp, any of the online review sites, and so on. Or someone says, I found this realtor was absolutely terrible. 10,000 people could know about that too pretty quickly. So 87% of consumers look at the reputation of your CEO when judging your company's reputation. I do this presentation at the Thunderbird School of Management, and I always say to them, you may be that CEO one day. So remember that somebody could be looking up your name to judge the reputation of the business that you're now CEO of. 80% of hiring managers are influenced by your online reputation. I remember back in the day, we only confirmed dates of employment and positions held. Legally, that's all you could do. Well, now, somebody can Google you. So depending on what they find, you could get the job or not get the job. People say, well, is that fair? Well, if you don't want that to happen, make sure that what they find influences the hiring decision in your favor. At some time, 80% of companies will face a crisis sometime in the next 5 years, negatively impacting their share price by as much as 20 to 30%. Now, put that down to the small business. You don't have share prices. But what if there's information out there about you on the web that negatively impacts by your reputation by 20 to 30%? That's not good. That's high. So you scale it down to the small business, and you know that it's just as important for you as it is for the large corporations. And we all know that in the last 2 years, some reputations well-deserved, I would say. Some of these companies took a serious hammering in the online space, but you'll also notice if you check today that it's gone because they're doing online reputation management. If you do BP now, nothing, perfectly clean. Yet you're in the middle of the oil spill. If you did BP, the whole of the top 10 was you get, well, not the whole of the top 10, but a lot of it was about the oil spill, and that's all been cleaned up, so to speak. So reputations that took decades to build can be threatened by a single event. And I had somebody call me the other day, and he was distraught. He said it was a mortgage company. They do mortgage advice. They work here in the Valley in Arizona. And he said, oh my God, he said, I've been in business 20 years. And there's a rip-off report about me in the number 3 position in Google by somebody who wanted them to do something for him on their mortgage. And he wouldn't. It was unethical. And then this person went to the rip-off report. And, you know, there's a lot of people angry right now because of the situation they're in financially. There's a lot of very unhappy people out there, and this person went and filed a rip-off report. Because that guy had always gone on about his business all those years, had a good business, you know, just did his thing, there was nothing to stop that rip-off report from taking the top position in Google with his company name. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is how you can prevent that crazy customer from damaging your hard-earned reputation. So I have there, ask Tiger Woods, BP or Dell, and they can confirm this. Tiger Woods, when his crisis happened, it was all over the web. And I look at BP and I look at Dell, and I think, in the old days, before the web, their PR company would have gone into overdrive. They would have been out there spinning the story, et cetera. And why are they not taken care of? Why aren't they? Because you can't spin the web. Once the crisis happens on the web, you're stuck with what's going on out there to a certain extent. So that's, again, back to PR, online reputation management needs to become part of the PR process in combination with the SEO program. So why is this important? Some of the biggest brands on the planet have been affected by this. Walmart Watch, Wake Up Walmart, I hate Starbucks, Starbucks gossip, I hate Bank of America sucks. A few years ago when this started to happen, some of these brands really got caught off guard. So there's a slide later on where I will show you how not to get caught off guard. So how does this affect you? I realize that our audience today are not BP and Dell, and if there's anybody from BP and Dell on the line, hello there, you're very welcome. But typically that's not the case. So how does it affect you? It's what we call the digital footprint. The digital footprint can influence your future career. It can also, let's say you're a small business. It's very important that you are leaving the right impression. Would you create a resume that was, you know, well, I did this, and well, I didn't really do a good job there, I decided to go get drunk instead. I mean, it's hilarious what people put on the web and think that they can go into a job interview and not have people, it shouldn't affect them. And I was talking to the group of students before Christmas, and I said, okay, let's put it this way. If you went into a job interview and the interviewer said to you, well, how do you like to spend your spare time? And you said, well, every Friday night I smoke a load of dope and I get absolutely blind drunk, and I have a really good fight. I'll go down the bar and I have a fight. I said, would you say that at an interview? And they were all cracking up, laughing, thought it was really funny. I said, but you put it on the web, and it's the same thing. And then everybody's face went very white and looked very scared, because people don't realize what they're doing when they get out there and put all this information about themselves on the web. So how do you want 80% of the employers who will Google your name before they hire you to see you? How do you want the potential customer? Let's go back to the realtor example. Let's say you're a Scottsdale realtor. Somebody types your name into Google. What are they going to find? Are they going to see somebody who really knows what they're doing? Or in the case of the students, are they going to find this? So that it's hilarious at the time you're drunk and you're in the bathtub of beer. Or this. Now, I've used my own name as an example. So when I type in my name, it's got my company, it's got my LinkedIn, it's got my Slideshare, it's got a blog post about me, some videos, and different events that I participate in. I'm fortunate because I mean, it's part of my own PR to be out there speaking and participating in industry events, to be perfectly honest with you. So that creates good PR for me. But if you don't do that kind of thing, you're going to have to create your own PR. And about a year and a half ago, a competitor, a really ruthless competitor, attacked us and me and about 8 other companies in the space. They obviously had this brilliant idea that the best way to create more business for themselves will be to trash all their competitors, because in the online space it's actually very easy to do. So they did, and they still go after us because we have a fairly strong, particularly me, that they tend to think that, you know, if they put out bad stuff about me, it'd be great, but our business has never been stronger. I've had interviews by NPR about the situation. We got a ton of publicity out of it. So we made lemonade from lemons. If you're a small business and you're in Scottsdale, Arizona, you may not have the time to do that kind of thing. So it's real important, because of our connections and stuff. We were able to spin it around to make sure the truth was out there loud and clear about what had happened to us. So it can be difficult to do that if you're, do I do the books? Do I get the product ready? Do I build the website? What do I do today? Oh yeah, I've got to take care of my reputation. It can be tricky. So I'll give you some tips on the small things you could do on a regular basis to make sure that you're taking care of this space, whether it's for yourself or for your brand. So when you combine social media, and when I speak about digital assets, I mean anything, a tool that's available online, videos, podcasts, anything, your actual website, your Twitter account, your Facebook account, they're digital assets because people can find them online. You can proactively create the right image, stroke brand, stroke revenue, whatever you want to call it, reputation, sorry, to protect your reputation. So before we go on, and I know there's a ton of webinars that you'll get a lot of detail on this weekend, social media has become, it's huge. I was dragged kicking and screaming to social media because I'm like, I'm too old to learn anything new. I can't do this. And in fact, really, now I'm in it. I quite enjoy it. You'll never see me tweeting that I went to Walmart or I went to Target or Neiman Marcus or whatever, because that is my private life. It really is. However, some people seem to think that I want to know they're in Starbucks, which I don't really. But there is a business opportunity in social media. There really is, for all the type of things that I'm talking about. Getting your name out there, getting in front of customers, getting your brand well known. It's an excellent opportunity. So I'm a fan now, but only on the business side. I do tweet some personal things, and I do have business people on my Facebook, but yeah, I still like to have a private life. And I'm so aware of what goes on online. And, you know, I'm very careful what I let my children do, and we should all be very careful what we let our children do, because they're the future hiring managers that's going to Google them. You need to be telling your kids at 14, 15 when they don't, you know, having such a great grasp of the difference between, you know, smart and not so smart, because they're teenagers and the brains aren't working too well. You do need to be guiding them to make sure they're not putting a digital footprint out there that could harm them in the future, because once you put stuff on the web, it stays there forever. Remember that word? Forever. If something bad got into a magazine or a newspaper about you, once that newspaper goes away, it's gone away. Once the magazine goes away, it goes away. Somebody might see it in a dentist's office a year later, but typically it has a limit. The story has a limited shelf life. On the web, it has a permanent shelf life. So what are the digital assets? So anything at all, as I said, that you can put out on the web and make it searchable and findable. If you look on the screen here, videos, images, maps, news, shops, books, blogs, updates, discussions, and so on. That's that's where you can put digital assets. So why do you need to pay attention to this? Well, video is huge. YouTube is now the second biggest search engine to Google. And what if the person that is looking for you, I'm going to use the realtor example again, loves to watch videos, and we know now, because of the crazy growth of YouTube, that people love video. They love to watch video. So it's very important that if they choose videos, for example, that you have something there. I was talking to a major brand at a conference a couple of months ago. And they said, well, we don't really do video because, you know, we have a boring product. And I typed their name into Google and I typed videos. And all the videos for them, for their brand, and they're a really big brand, their household name in the air conditioning, HVAC space. And all the videos that showed up for them was an engineer who's selling his services as an engineer for their product. Nothing, you know, just an independent guy, not an employee. And here, this guy owns that space in the video space. And here they are, like a massive billion-dollar company. And when you clicked on videos in Google, an engineer who sells his services fixing their products, at some series of videos he'd made, like how to change something yourself, doing some free stuff. Free is always great. So let's say I'm a Scottsdale realtor. We have the second worst housing market in the country right now. I know all about it. When I look at my portfolio, I realize that we're in a pretty rough spot. But they could, for example, make some videos on navigating the short sale market. They could make some videos on, you know, how to survive the foreclosure, how to go about it, how the steps to take. So they could provide some good, solid, free advice, which will help them get business. And also when the market comes back, they'll always be there. So when people type their name or their brand or so on. So video can be used very, very effectively. So let's talk tactics. Now you know how important it is and why you should be considering this. It's actually easier than you think. There are so many things that you can get out there as assets, and that's the good news. Back in the day, before we had universal search, which I showed you with the Google, the blogs, news, everything, all I had was my website. And we had something called the 10 blue links, and that was it. So you got one link, you could get one link up there, and that was it, you were done. Now you get 10 links up there for your name or your brand, and it's about, you can use blogs, forums, RSS feeds, social bookmark and tagging, press releases, all social media sites, videos, podcasts, articles, e-zines, white papers, Wikipedia. So you go, yeah, okay, that's a long list, and I'm going to get time to do that. Well, there's a few you can do quickly. And people ask me all the time, should I blog? Well, if you have no time to do anything else, this is one of the things you should consider doing. So if you don't own, my name is Fionn Downhill, so I own FionnDownhill.com. If you don't own yourname.com, go buy it. Go to GoDaddy and buy it, because here's what happens, and I've seen it happen in the murky business of online reputation management. I've seen it happen over and over. Somebody gets really mad at you, and there's some really, most people will say, oh, I'm really mad at them, and off they go. But there's some really crazy people out there. So now you get a crazy person who also knows how to really use the web. They go buy your domain, and I've seen it happen a lot. So be very careful just to protect your reputation, and also for your brand, for your personal brand. So let's say someone is hiring you, and they type in your name, and your blog pops up and different things. It gives a good impression that you're very familiar with the digital world, which today is definitely a factor for people hiring, because that's the world we live in. So blogs, I would say, yes, go ahead and blog. I'm sure, Shauna, that I don't know if you have one of the webinars on blogging. Think about it. If you only blog once a week, blog something of quality. You can embed links in there back to your main site. Let's say you have a product and you're selling products online. Well, you want them to land on your site, get the product, and buy it. So you can't really go into it. You typically don't want to have a whole page of information on the product to distract them from buying the product. The whole purpose of your e-commerce site is for them to land there and to purchase. But what you can do is, we have a client who sells custom tire and wheel packages for the hot rod industry. So when you get the tire and wheel package, they want to know, okay, is this the right package? Okay, click buy and so on. But on his blog, we do write really long posts about, changing the tires and putting the packages together, and when winterizing the tires and all that sort of thing. But within that post, we're linking back. So let's say I'm talking about the Chevrolets, for example. Within the blog post, we link back to the Chevrolet page on his website. That creates something called deep linking into the website. It also creates quality linking, and the blog can be a whole source of brand new traffic. So if you make the blog part of your website, so it's yoursite.com/blog, it can drive new traffic, new awareness of your brand, and also that's where you can go mad with content and not clutter up the product page where you want people to buy off. Twitter, you should all have a Twitter account. I'm sure you have. And again, if you're like me and you're mostly Twitter business stuff, that's great, because the Twitter account is a very strong profile, very strong account, and it will show up in the top 10 under your reputation management. So a blog will show up in the top 10. Twitter will show up in the top 10. Facebook will show up in the top 10. So if you have a personal Facebook page, be careful what you put on it, or close it down. Make sure that only certain information is available. Be careful what you put on it anyway, because I can tell you I don't trust Facebook, and I'm saying that in front of however many people are on this call. Facebook it's a fantastic product. There's no question of that, and it's a great idea. However, they're going IPO next year, and or maybe this year even, and they have a big reputation. They have some insane billion-dollar valuation to live up to for their IPO. So there's a lot going on in Facebook, like before Christmas. When you get those apps, someone sends you a bunch of flowers, and they send you a farm bill and all that. They are giving your information to those app providers. You don't have a contract with the app providers. You have a so-called terms of agreement with Facebook, but you don't with those app providers. So you have to be very careful what you participate in Facebook, because I don't believe that your information is not being used to monetize Facebook. Now, they can sue me for that. I don't care. But before Christmas, there was a big scandal where the app people, they were selling information to the app people. So I would be careful. Keep it business. If you do personal stuff, be careful about getting involved in all these applications. Although some of them are fun, like you love the Travelocity one and some like that. But be careful. That's all I can say. You can tell them a little cynical, but a little cynicism on the web, a lot of cynicism. particularly on the reputation side, you can't be too careful. Also have a LinkedIn account. You can have a LinkedIn account for your brand, and you can have a personal LinkedIn account. Again, this will show up in the top 10. So now we have a blog, we have Twitter, we have your web page, your website, and we have LinkedIn. Well, LinkedIn is it's the big girl social media site, and it's an excellent place to do business, and it's an excellent place to make contacts and find like-minded people. Now, one of the things I love about LinkedIn is that if somebody joins me on LinkedIn, I expect, or someone asks me, I expect that they'll probably solicit me. Not necessarily blatantly, but I don't mind when the people that I have in my network on LinkedIn contact me and say, hey, Fionn, I have a new product, would you like to take a look? Because typically I've trusted them by letting them into my LinkedIn account. I have found employees on LinkedIn. I have found business on LinkedIn. It's definitely the business, big girl social media site. So I strongly encourage you, if you don't do LinkedIn, to do it. Now, everything I'm talking to you about, if you spend 10 minutes a day for a month, and I know it's hard to find even 10 minutes in our busy world, especially if you're a woman in business like us with children and everything, it can be tough. But 10 minutes a day, you will get this thing moving along. You'll get these profiles in place and so on. So one of the important things, if you've done your Twitter, and I'm going to talk a lot more detail about YouTube in a minute and videos in general, a great place to, we all know if you've been on any of the SEO webinars, is that a key issue to get rankings is linking. The most authoritative place that you will get a link from to your social media profiles is off your own homepage of your website. Make sure that you link to them, show that you're participating in social media, and it has the added SEO benefit of boosting the profile from a site that's obviously an authority because it's your site. So, small business, another great social media avenue is, well, not even necessarily social media, but it's all part of that big social web, is the local listings. It's essential you participate in local if you're a local business, and a lot of people on these webinars will be local business. It's very important, and it's free. Well, unless Google. Right now, you can go to Google and do list my site in Google Local. If you haven't done so already, put it all in. They'll send you a little card. You plug it in, and you're listed on Google. Go into your profile once you set it up and load it up. Put everything, all the information about you. The stronger your profile, the better. Another way to show up high in what we call now Google Places, it's not Google Local anymore, is to get people to review you, have your customers review you. Because believe me, someone might review you anyway. So you have to be, to have a good, strong local profile. Also, Google is doing something on local where for $25 a month, you'll get a boost to your profile. None of my clients have done it, and I haven't done it, so I'm actually not that familiar with how it works. But it's a brilliant coup for Google. I mean, they only make $5 billion a month now, so probably an exaggeration. It might be 20 billion. I don't know. I've lost track. Once I get into the B's, the zeros, it's a bit like the deficit. I have no idea how much it is. But you can imagine all over the world the amount of local businesses that Google has in its index. If they're all paying $25 a month, it's genius, pure genius for them. Because Google have made a fortune on their ads, but on nothing else. They haven't done a great job monetizing anything else that they've done. But this is a great idea for them. So local is very important. Now video. You say, well, yeah, who has time to make video? You need, if you can pay anything from $1,000 to $20,000 more, I'm sure, to have a video, to make a video. But you can also make your own, and you can do a good job. And it's so easy these days. Few best practices: don't do more than 5 minutes. Brand pre and post rolls to make sure you get your brand on there. Now, anything I talk to you about, if you want your LinkedIn to be found for you, make sure your name is the title. If you want your Facebook to be, if you have a Facebook profile for your company, make sure that the name is clear. The same with video. So if I'm back to the Scottsdale Realtor, and I want to be found for foreclosures in the Scottsdale market or short sales in the Scottsdale market. That's what you need to call the video, not, hey, my cool video on Scottsdale real estate, or my video, or whatever. You need to put, just like a web page, and I know you'll be talking about this all weekend, it's really important that you SEO, do search engine optimization on everything. Put transcripts on your video, and so on. So there's a camera out there, and I talked about this last year as well on this event. If you don't know about the flip camera, go research it. There's a few of them around. My absolute favorite is the Flip. It's actually called flip.com. You can buy them. The last one I bought at Best Buy for $130. Now, this little camera, and I believe last year when we did this, there was somewhere that was doing refurbished flips for even less than that. This little camera is brilliant. So it's a great one if you're speaking, and then you plug it into, you make your little video, you plug it into the side of your laptop, and you have a web-ready video. If you want to distribute your video in lots of different places, there's a site out there called Mogul, and that website allows you to go in, create an account, upload your video, and it will distribute the video to numerous video sites. You can log back in, you can see how many places it went to, how many people viewed, and so on. But don't click the YouTube option. If you do that, then your video will just go into YouTube, and YouTube's a needle in a haystack anyway because it's so big. It becomes even a smaller needle in a very large haystack. I'm going to talk to you about setting up your own channel in YouTube. So don't YouTube Mogul if you want wider distribution of your videos, and it's real simple, real easy to do, but do not go to YouTube and set up your own account in YouTube and upload your videos to YouTube, link to it from your homepage. And another thing I love YouTube for is you put your videos on YouTube, so now you've got your information out there in a whole new place. Let's say you do products, for example, and you can, that flip camera, you could make a little video about using your product, how to use the product. I bought this thing the other day at Whole Foods, and it's a powder that you put on your hair in the gray spots, because I'm at that age, and you know, while you're, you know, the little root thing, and it seemed like the best idea ever. And I bought it, and it was absolute garbage, and it made my hair like as hard as a rock. You know, it's like somebody put jam in my hair. And I remember thinking, oh, that will teach me. I should have gone online and looked, and so, and I could be using the product wrong as well. That's the other issue. So let's say you have an unusual product. It's some local company here in Arizona that's making this product, and you have an unusual product like that. Making a video on how to use it properly is a really, really good idea. So now you have it on YouTube. You have a link to your YouTube channel, and you can create a blog post, how to use the funky, whatever, the dry shampoo, colored dry shampoo, whatever. I can't remember the name of the product. But you can put stuff like that on your blog and embed the YouTube video. So you don't have to mess with putting the videos on your own website, although that's also good these days. It used to be your videos would crash your website and you needed a whole load of bandwidth to put videos on your site, but you really don't anymore. And the video players that you can put on the site are pretty cheap, like $100 or something. You can put a video player on your site. But I like YouTube because I've opened it up to a much wider audience that could find me, and then I can embed it anyway. If you don't have what we call a commercial channel on YouTube, which I believe costs like some silly amount of money, like 50 grand, you might have to live with the fact that they may put ads on that ads will show up, but I don't mind that. It doesn't bother me because it's free when I do it that way. And I'm blind to those ads. I don't see them. I literally do not see the ads anymore, so it never occurred to me to click on one of them. I just go, wish that annoying ad would go away, or you can exit out. To do it cost effectively, you don't have to have the expensive commercial YouTube channel. I'm sure Coca-Cola and people like that all do, but you don't have to. So there's a book out there by a guy called Greg Jarbo. I strongly encourage you to think about video. Again, it's huge, and it's especially if you're in the business of products. You can do real good stuff with video. and open yourself up to that huge market that loves to watch videos. The book is called YouTube and Video Marketing in an Hour a Day, and it's by a guy called Greg Jarbo, and you can get it on Amazon.com for about $20 or so. So all of those things. So now we have all those things that are likely to show up in that top 10 under your reputation. So if somebody types your name, types your brand, if you're creating all these assets, you're now starting to put the information out there that's going to give you control of the space. The more of this you do, the more you put out there, then when you get the mad client who decides to go and hammer you, less likely for them to be able to put something out there that's going to penetrate into the top 10. Now, a lot of people ask me about, just before I go on to this one, and I just remembered it, a lot of people ask me about Yelp. Yelp can be extremely useful and it can be extremely harmful. If you're in a situation where somebody has put up a Yelp account about you, and in our case they did, and they made it was fake. They put up they created an account, and it was this customer, this competitor who attacked us. So they've had to create that Yelp account. And what I did was I went in and I claimed the Yelp account as the legitimate business owner, which you can do. And then I changed the name. I changed the name from what it was ranking for to my legal business name, and then went away. So if you have a bad situation with Yelp and you didn't create the account, there's little things you can do to help the situation. If you did create the account and people are going on there and they're adding tons of stuff, you can tell the fake reviews. You can spot them a mile off because they look like all the other fake reviews. And people are lazy about how they do the fake reviews. It's usually very similar verbiage, and you can spot them a mile off. The only way to combat that is to make sure you're getting lots of positive reviews, because the vast majority of people actually do. If they see positive, I know if I see positive and negative, I decide for myself. But if it's all negative, being in the business I do look at it and say, that's somebody's done that. Or I might look at it and say, oh, that looks like they have a bad reputation. You kind of get used to it. So that's just something before I forget. People, when I talk about online reputations, people ask me about Yelp, and that's been my experience with Yelp. Images, same thing. Remember that bar down the side of Google? What if you are a travel company or you sell a travel product? I bet you the people who are looking for you are going to look at images. It's a very important piece. So you can have a Flickr account. Not too sure what happened with Flickr. Flickr used to be a great social media site for your brand. So you'd set it up with your brand name or your own name, throw a couple of links at it, and it would show up in the top 10, but I haven't seen Flickr in the top 10 for a while. But it is a great place to put your images. A lot of real fans of good quality photography go to Flickr. And depending on the product, you're in real estate, pictures, people love to look at pictures of houses. Even if they're worthless, like the houses in Arizona, they still love to look at them. And certain industries render very well too. But don't forget, like a web page, put a clear description, put a title tag, describe your image properly, like not my cute picture of Maui, put the road to Hannah Maui, or whatever the actual picture is about if you want it to be found for that. An excellent social media site that I know of and that I've used is a site called Slideshare. Another great place to put free information, and this will show up in the top 10 as well. So now we have blog, we have video, we have your YouTube account, we have your Twitter, your Facebook, your Flickr, not so sure about that one anymore, Slideshare, your website. Now we're up to nearly 10 spots here that you can take in the top 10 when you do some of this work. This is a great place if you've already done a PowerPoint. This is Scottsdale Realtor again. Let's say they've given a presentation on Scottsdale real estate market. Set up your Slideshare account, hook it to your LinkedIn, so that when you put new stuff up, it all goes out to your LinkedIn, and all of these can be linked together. Your Twitter, your Facebook, all of them, the blog, can all be linked together. So you're creating your own little web, your own network for your name and your brand. And what I love about Slideshare is I put one up there called Online Reputation Management Case Study. When we were attacked, I did a big case study on it. and it showed up #1 in Google for online reputation management case study. So the good thing about doing this work for your brand and creating, as I said, your own little web for your brand is that you also can show up on those sites in different places. Like if you make sure that what you put out there, when you put up your slides, share your videos, they're keyword rich. You now have an opportunity for that to show up. I have for Slideshare, I've been invited to Egypt. I'm not going now, obviously, but I was invited to Egypt before Christmas. Somebody found my presentation on Slideshare that I had done, that I posted up there about the travel industry in Arizona, using social media for the travel industry in Arizona, and invited me to speak at a travel conference in Egypt, just by finding me. Now that was a good coup. I didn't go in the end because it was too close to Christmas, but it opens up many new avenues for you. So PR optimization, you do not have to hire a PR company to do online public relations. You can go to the web and get a ton of great information on how to write a good, solid press release. Don't write press releases that your cat died, nobody cares. But if you have news and you've hired a key employee or you've brought out a new product, you can put out press releases. There's a few. PR Web's very good. There's a few free ones. There's PR Leap. Gosh, it's completely escaping. I should put them on the slide to remember. But PR Leap is one free one, and Official Wire. You get European distribution on that one. It's about $20. Oh gosh, there's another one. I can't think of it off the top of my head. So let's say you've done all your work, and something happens. You go, oh my God, something's in the top 10 about me, and it's bad news. Well, a real quick case study. Here, we engaged with a CEO of a financial services business. This guy was like 70 years old. He had never done anything on the web. He didn't really have a website. The #1 result for his name was a lawsuit on FindLaw.com, which is a really strong site in that space. It was a court case he'd been involved in, but it was thrown out of court. He never got convicted of anything, but it showed up #1 for his name. And it was a Security Exchange Commission lawsuit, and he's in the financial services industry, so it was very damaging for him. So he hired us to help him clean it up. So we did stuff like we added a bio to the corporate page with his name on it. In addition to Twitter, all of those, we did 5 microsites. Microsites are usually something we use when there's damaged reputation. Some really large brands do have microsites anyway for promotions to do and so on, but little brands usually don't, and individuals certainly don't. So we created some microsites in his name, so FinnDownhill.net, FinnDownhill.org, and we put different content on all of those. So now we had all the social media sites, and we fixed his corporate website, and we had the 5 microsites. And that way we were able to take control of the top 10 and push FindLaw out of the top 10. One of the things to do, if you haven't done so already, is to make sure you own all variations of your brand. So your brand.com, .net, .org, and then brand sucks, brand scam, all of those. Again, remember that slide I showed you earlier, some of the biggest brands on the planet have been caught off guard with this one. So make sure you own these. So when you get that psycho customer who knows how to manipulate the web, that they can't just go and buy yourbrandssucks.com and put up a website, because these things are really difficult to get down or to get rid of. So we also did, like we did the microsites, then we did social media, and then we had to link, because of SEO, to those, to all of the assets, including the microsites and the social media. We tracked it, we did some monthly reports for him, but it actually took, and this was a really unusual name, there was only one bad thing about him out there, it took 6 months to clean the results up. Now think about if it's a more popular name, like a big brand, for example, and there's a lot of negative information, it can take a year. It can be so bad that you can never clean it up. Now, what happens when it's so bad you can never clean it up is, one thing we do is we make sure that we get a lot of really great information around the negative information. So we put the blogs up, we put the sites up containing all the positive information under your control, like your brand testimonials.com, your brand customerservice.com. So you put a lot of great quality information around the negative stuff. It did take 8 months for FindLaw to go out of the top 10. We moved it down. It kept moving down, and then it went out to the top 10. And now today, the entire top 10, Google and Yahoo, are under our control, and we have a very simple maintenance program in place. So it's really important that there are things you can do if things go wrong and you end up with your reputation tarnished. But I can't, if there's one thing to take away today, is take care of it before there's a problem. I know when we were attacked, they put about 100 pieces of content out there about us, and one piece of content, nothing's around for my name, and one piece of content is still, we've moved in and out of the top 10. But out of 100 pieces of content, only one actually stayed, we got into the top 10 and has stayed there. I mean, we keep moving it, and then they put more links to it, and then we move it again, and then it's cat and mouse game. But that's because we had a lot going on in the first place, and they still managed to penetrate the results with something negative. If we hadn't had what we had going on, they would have absolutely killed us because of the amount of effort they put into it, us and other companies in the space. It's quite sad, really, what some people think is a good idea, but never mind. So we have some golden rules. Never put anything on the web that you would not to see printed in a newspaper. If ever there's something in your head, you think, well, should I put that out there? Should I use the F word in this blog post? Think, would you want to see that under your name in a newspaper? Chances are you're going to say no, because it never, ever goes away. It stays out there forever. Represent yourself online as if you were in front of an employer. So what's out there, so great, you know, let's say you did a great thesis at college, put it on Slideshare. If you've got some great information that you've written, put this information out there as if you were trying to sell yourself, because you are trying to sell yourself if you're in business on the web. And I'm assuming that if you're on these webinars this weekend, you're doing some sort of business on the web. Use connections to syndicate your content, set up a blog, create a name for yourself in your field. And see, here's the thing. Somebody found me on Slideshare and went, whoa, she really knows what she's talking about the travel industry and social media, which I know a bit, but I wouldn't say I was an expert. But by putting that out there, these people found me and thought, looks like this is somebody that we could use as a speaker. So there's a lot you can do. It used to be a lot harder to get this kind of information out there. Do pay attention to video. It's become a very important part of online marketing. Take inventory of what you already have. You might be very surprised. So when, you know, you might have done some ads a while back, and you can use them on a microsite, or there might be some video content that somebody made, and you think, oh, you know what, I could use that. You may be surprised. If you take that list that's in one of the slides, where it has all the different things that are digital assets, if you sit down and you go every single thing you have, the chances are there's a lot more, you've got more going on than you realized. You may already have a Facebook page you've never done anything about. You may even have done the YouTube page. You might have a LinkedIn account that you just haven't put enough information on. So there might be, you may not have to be starting from scratch. But I promise you, if you spend 10 minutes a day for a month focusing on this, you'll be in a different place at the end of the month. And avoid giving out personal information on social media sites. I don't know if I need to say that, but I do give this presentation to college students, so it's something that I do hammer home to them. There's a couple of books out there. Radically Transparent by Andy Beal is one of the books, particularly good ones on online reputation management, and then there's a few others. I'm sure Shauna has a list as well. And that's me. So we've got a few minutes for some questions, Shauna.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, the biggest question that we're getting from a lot of different people, and I wish we had time for all questions, guys, but unfortunately we had such great information throughout, and we didn't want to miss a second. So I hope you all don't mind. We're only going to be able to ask this one question, but how much time should we split between social media and optimizing our site? And a lot of people are saying, I'm so new to this, and this is the biggest question that I have. And it's a really great question.
10 minutes a day on your social media. Social media is about getting in front of a new audience, building your brand, but you always want them, where possible, back on your website. So take care of your website. You could put all the effort in the world into your social media, but if they end up on a website that's cluttered, that's not well done, that doesn't sell well, that they're not inclined to contact you, that's been a waste of effort. I personally have no time for social media for fun. I simply, it has to have a purpose for me. So if you're going to spend time on social media, I would say focus, make sure you've got a great website, spend your 10 minutes a day if you can on the actual social media piece, but make sure that when they get to the real purpose of you being online, which is your online business, your shop, your store, whatever, that's in order.
Great information. And we're getting asked from Carla if you could put the book slide up again.
I sure will. There you go.
There we go. Absolutely wonderful. Okay. I think actually, can we go do one more question real quick? I think we have time for one more. I'm trying to. Oh, hold on. Just. I know we had there was another one that we had a couple of people. We have Chris, I hope I say the name right, Jared's, that said, thank you for telling me about this conference. You are the best. This is a great presentation. Oh. Lots of that. Okay, here's another great question. What's the best online reputation blog to use?
For information about online reputation management?
Yeah, what's a great tool to use?
If you type online reputation management into Google or online reputation management tips, you'll get some pretty good sites come up. Andy Beal has a good site. It's called Marketing Pilgrim. Lee Odden, Leeodden, has some great beginners tips for online reputation management. They're all good sites. You'll get just do some research on Google and you'll find some good stuff. The people who talk about reputation management will remove the risk of report, ignore all that garbage, go for the solid industry people that are actually willing to share quality information with you, and that's two of them, Andy Beal and Lee Odden. The book Radically Transparent is great. It's a real good book that Andy did, and it walks you through the whole process and tells the whole story. He does a pretty good job. You can go to my website, elixirinteractive.com, to the online reputation management page. There's a whole bunch of videos that you can click on that talks about the blending of traditional PR and online PR, and it talks about reputation management tactics. I also have a blog called elixirinteractivecomplaints.com. That's an interesting read if you want to see how an attack can happen on a brand. I could never really do a case study on any of my clients because they wouldn't give me permission, but when we were attacked, I thought, oh, this is a brilliant opportunity. I can say what I like because this is my brand. But it's a really, we've broken it out into the legal side of defamation online and all sorts of interesting things. And there's a ton of tips on that blog about how you can prevent a disaster.
Wonderful information. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for all the amazing education. We appreciate it so very much. That was an absolutely wonderful presentation. I think you might be busy for the next couple hours. Thanking all of your wonderful fans on Twitter, though.
Thank you.
We will see you next time.